Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. In this video, we're going to talk about the chemical test, which is we're going to explain the identification test to distinguish classes of alcohol, and then we're going to explain the iodoform test to identify the methyl carbinol. Okay. So let's look on your notes on page 8. So this is actually a chemical test. So the first one we're going to learn adalah Lucas test. So Lucas test is used to determine ataupun to distinguish different classes of alcohol. So the Lucas test ni, so this is actually our reagent lah. This is our reagent and this is actually our catalyst. Okay, so this reaction, dia punya reaction ni as if yang SN1 punya reaction. So macam mana kalau kita kata dia adalah SN1 reaction, if you still remember from chapter 14, okay, dia lagi suka tertiary reactivity lebih tinggi dan secondary, and secondary is higher than primary. So sama juga this substitution, this is actually substitution reaction chlorine dengan OH. But then the reactivity tu depends on the class of alcohol lah. So as we can see, as I've mentioned, that tertiary tu is the the fastest one. The same goes untuk the reaction of your Lucas test with alcohol. Okay, so actually what happened here? Okay, so kita tengok dekat sini. So it's actually it's a clear solution. Tapi if this reaction, if there is the substitution of chlorine to our OH, then the reaction will become cloudy due to the formation of alkyl chloride. Okay. So kita tengok dekat sini. So first one ni, this is actually our primary alcohol. Lama lupa. Okay. So this one is actually our primary alcohol. So ni secondary alcohol, and this one is our tertiary alcohol. Okay, so what happened here? Okay, so even though it seems that we can do this substitution reaction, but this reaction will be very slow lah. Okay, tapi what we're gonna write down here adalah the reaction remain unchanged ataupun no observable change. Okay, so as we can see here, dia kata dekat sini kalau reaction mixture will become cloudy due to the formation of alkyl chloride. So sebab there's no observable change, the reaction remain unchanged, tak ada apa-apa, so this reaction will not become cloudy. So how about the observation? So the observation is does not form cloudy solution at room temperature. So that's actually the chemical test ataupun that is the equation and the observation when we react primary alcohol with our Lucas reagent. Okay, how about our secondary alcohol? So secondary alcohol, so maknanya kalau kita tahu SN1 reactivity dia, okay, primary is the least one. Okay, secondary ni reaction ni could happen but it's a bit slower than tertiary, tapi faster than the primary one. So what would happen is that we will substitute our OH ni dengan Cl. Okay, so the observation would be that the cloudy solution appear ataupun form within 5 to 10 minutes. Okay. So that's the equation as well as the observation for secondary alcohol. So start secondary alcohol ni we can show lah the substitution. Okay, sebab kita kata for the formation of alkyl chloride barulah cloudy solution ni can appear. Okay, so again for tertiary alcohol, this reaction will become faster lah. Dia akan jadi the fastest one. Dia kira yang ini the most reactive kan. Okay, so this one, what would happen? This is our tertiary alcohol. We'll substitute our OH with our chlorine. Okay, and then how about the observation? Okay, so since is the most reactive, the cloudy solution appears immediately. So again, so that's why we have mentioned that the Lucas test can be used to distinguish primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol. Sebab dia punya observation dia berbeza-beza and the reactivity dia, okay, remember that tertiary is the most reactive compared to secondary and compared to the primary. So this is the first chemical test that we have learned. Next chemical test that we're going to learn is iodoform test. So iodoform test is used to identify your methyl carbinol. So again, carbinol is actually your carbon OH. So when it mention about methyl carbinol, so maknanya dalam case COH kita ni, attached to it, you must have your CH3. And actually, it's not only that, you have to look sebenarnya pada carbon tu mesti ada hydrogen attached to it. Okay, so ada hydrogen yang attached to it. So, okay. So, for example, pada your alcohol tu, your carbinol carbon contain hydrogen dengan methyl. So, the reaction will give you the positive result. So, dalam case ni, okay, kenapa kita kata positif? So, sebelum ni, bila kita kata Lucas test, so, kalau positive result, maknanya the cloudy solution appears lah. Sebab kita kata the reaction occur. So, kalau dekat sini, kalau the reaction occur where we have the organic compound does contain methyl carbinol, the positive reaction adalah yellow precipitate will form. And the yellow precipitate ni, what is the molecular formula? Dia adalah CH₃. Okay, I ni is actually your iodine ni lah, from your I ni. Okay. So, yang sini, here, I'm just going to show it to you, a brief recap, ataupun bukannya recap pun. Nanti kamu pelik, how does this reaction work? Nanti Miss akan bagi dia punya shortcut. So, how does this reaction work? Okay. So, for example, kita punya compound ni kan. So, this compound, we have our carbinol carbon ni. Carbinol carbon, we have hydrogen dengan CH3, methyl attached to it. So after that, what happen is that, okay, so adanya oxidation reaction where we're going to remove these two hydrogen. So sebab itulah pada methyl carbinol ni, Miss nak juga, we will also want the hydrogen. Okay, so what happened is that the oxidation occur. So jadilah kita punya ketone ni. So this is the first reaction. Lepas tu what happen is that this hydrogen will substitute dengan our iodine in the presence of a base ni lah. So that's why here from CH3 dia jadi Ci3. Yang C double bond OR ni maintain sahaja. Okay, so that's the first one. Okay, next is what happened sebenarnya Ci3 ni. So dia ada 3 I dekat sini. So what happened here adalah this bond will break. The bond between carbon dengan carbon ni will break. So that's why nanti dia akan jadi CH3. So dia pelik sikit kan. Dia jadi Ci3, dia akan form CH3. So CH3 ni lah yang bagi your yellow precipitate. Okay. And then yang lainnya, yang peliknya dekat sini. Okay, so kita punya ketone ni macam simpan lagi kan. Masih ada lagi di sini. But then where previously we have our carbon yang Ci3 tu, we're gonna substitute it dengan O-. Okay, so that's the basis of it. Okay, so macam mana, how to simplify? So maknanya kita tengok dekat sini kan. From here COH ni jadi C double bond O. Okay, lepas tu where our CH3 ni akan jadi our O-. Dia pelik sikit kan. Pelik lah Miss tiba. Memang tiba pun. CH3 jadi O-. Okay, so let's look here. Okay, let's go. Okay, so sekarang ni this carbon, kita akan tengok carbinol. So this is actually our carbinol kan. Okay, and for this carbinol, kita punya hydrogen, and then kita punya CH3. Okay, so maknanya what would happen? Okay, macam mana kita nak buat dia? Ingat COH ni jadi C double bond O. Okay, lepas tu kita akan tulis kat sini satu juga Sebab bila kita remove hydrogen ni, barulah kita boleh form yang C double bond O tu kan. Okay, so what will happen is that I'm gonna remove hydrogen ni. Okay, so jadilah C double bond O. Okay, lepas tu what is left? Yang hydrogen. So since we have removed one hydrogen, so lagi satu ni, biarkan sahajalah. This one, let it be. So dekat sini, I'm just gonna write down this is my hydrogen. Okay, tapi yang CH3 ni jadi apa? CH3 ni akan jadi our O-. Okay. Lepas tu, actually, kenapa dia jadi yang CH3 ni jadi O minus? Sebenarnya, yang CH3 ni akan form CH₃. So, plus CH₃. So, buat arrow ke bawah sebab precipitate. Okay, so this is actually the reaction. Pelik kan? Tapi YOLO. Okay. So, kita tengok lagi dekat sini. So, how does it work? So, kita tengok pada carbinol kita. So, pada carbinol kita, we want it to be, mesti ada hydrogen. So, kita akan remove hydrogen ni nanti. And then, we want it to be adanya CH3. So, dekat sini ada 2 CH3 kan? So, up to you lah mana yang kamu nak remove. So, this time around, Miss nak remove yang ni lah. Okay, yang ini yang kita akan substitute jadi O minus. So, what we have here adalah kita punya, okay, so I have my CH3. And then, pada carbon ni, mana yang carbon OH akan form C double bond O. So, here, C double bond O. Hydrogen here, we're going to remove. Lepas tu, yang CH3 yang lagi satu ni, dia akan jadi O minus. So, dia jadi O minus. And then, we must show in the equation the yellow precipitate tu lah. Sebab that is actually what give us this reaction. Ataupun this yang observation ni. Okay, so here kita tengok. So, methyl carbinol kita, this is our methyl carbinol. Okay. So, memang methyl carbinol kita memang kita ada OH kat sini kan? Memang kita dah kata alkohol mestilah ada OH. Okay. So, sebenarnya we have 1, 2, 3 carbon. Kan? Okay. Tapi, what we want actually is not only methyl. Mesti ada hydrogen. So, pada carbon methyl ni, there is none of your hydrogen attached to carbon ni. Tak ada. So, what would happen adalah dekat sini kita akan tulis. Maknanya, we can't see anything. Maknanya memang reaction ni does not occur. Sebab memang kita ada methyl. Tapi actually, we also want our hydrogen ni. Sebab the first step sebenarnya dekat sini, we want to go oxidation lah. Oxidation process. So, bila sini adalah no observable changes. Dekat sini pun boleh tulis no observable changes. Ataupun reaction remain unchanged. Dua-dua boleh. So, sometimes if you look at dimension pasal negative result tu maksud dia reaction remain unchanged. Okay, so that's case for C. Okay, so kita sekarang ni kita tengok pula kalau skeletal pula for D ni. Okay, so sini kita ada COH. So, it means that we have here is actually our carbinol carbon. Okay, so kat sini carbon ni ada 1, 2, 3. So, maknanya dekat sini sebenarnya ada 1 hydrogen bond. Sini sebenarnya ada 1 hydrogen bond kan. Okay, lepas tu pada COH ni kita tengok. Pada COH ni, ada tak kita punya methyl? So, dekat sini, so sini ada our CH₃CH₃. So, ini adalah our methyl. So, maknanya adanya methyl carbinol ni. So, what happen? So, how to draw it? Okay, macam mana kita nak buat? Okay, I'm just gonna draw structure dia yang sebenar ni. Okay. First, COH tu jadi C double bond O. So, OH ni jadi double bond O. Lepas tu, mana our CH3 akan jadi O minus. So, dekat sini akan jadi O minus. Okay, and then since this is a positive result, adanya methyl. So, we have to show lah plus CH₃ minus arrow ke bawah as well as the observation. Now, let's look for the case of cyclic pula. So, here, this is our methyl carbinol kan. So, this is our OH. So, this is actually our carbinol lah. So, this is actually our carbinol. Okay, tapi kita tengok dekat sini. So, sebenarnya sini ada 1, 2, 3. Baru ada 1, 2, 3 bond kan. So, maknanya ada satu lagi tu adalah our hydrogen. Tapi yang attached pada dia is not CH3. This is all the compound here. So, what happened here? So, there's no methyl carbinol. So, even though there's the presence of H, tapi kita punya methyl tidak ada. So, there is no observable change ataupun negative result. So, Yang question F ni you should try yourself.